Hi there, Tim Kane with Dixon Drums, and today we're talking about tuning your drums. One of the most important things you can do in your drum set. What I've replaced my heads with, I was playing Remo pinstripes, and they started to sound dull, a little bit flat. They started to get some dings in them, and had difficulty keeping them in tune. And when all those things happen, you know it's just time to get some new skins. What I'm trying to switch to, I'm going to try the Evans EC2 coated as my batter head. My resonant head, the bottom heads, I don't really need to change. They're fine. There's nothing wrong with them. They're not overstretched. So I'm just going to keep those on until they break or they become too worn. So the first thing you want to do after you pull off your old heads is to assess your shell. Check your hardware inside. Make sure that everything's not loose, it's tight, it's snug. Make sure there's no debris or wood chips or anything that could damage the shell or cause it to warp or for your head to come out of tune. It's a good opportunity to just clean the inside of your shell. And also, quite frankly, while you have your heads off, you can clean the outside of them as well and kill two birds with one stone, essentially. So once you've done that, you want to take your head and just seat it right on top. I like to position the logo where the logo of your drum is. Just kind of looks nice that way. There's no particular reason for it. The next thing is to put your rim back on. And before I put my lugs back in, I press down evenly here and here just to make sure it's there. And then the next thing is to hand tight the lugs. Just hand tight. Nothing more than that at this point. We don't pull out our drum wrench or anything like that. We want to get the lugs back on. And once those are all seated, hand tight, what I will do is take my fist just like this and just press down. You may hear a little cracking, and that's okay. And that's just seating the head on top of your bevel, which the bevel is at a 45, either a 30 or 45 degree angle all the way around the exterior of your shell. And that gives your drum its tone, its sound. You want to seat it not too hard, but enough. And once you've completed that, you've hand tight these, you can begin the next process of actually trying to get the pitch you want out of your drum shell. Okay, we're ready to tune our rack tom. I've already done one here, but I'm going to do my upper rack. This is a 10-inch. And again, I'm using an Evans EC2 coated head. I chose it, basically gives me a better open sound, and I tend to tune my toms higher. This head's built for that. It's a 2-ply. And again, my bottom heads are fine. I don't need to replace those heads. So I'm just going to bring those down to hand tight lug, my resonant side bottom head. I do use the fist technique just to work it in just a little bit. And make sure your rim is of equal spacing all the way around the diameter of the shell while you have your lugs tuned off. Really the difference between a batter side head, your bottom head, and your resident side top head is your batter gives you feel and initial pitch, and your resident side head gives you really your pitch aftermath and lingering tone and sustain. And those are the two differences, and you'll see that as we go tuning. I tune my rack toms off the kick drum. I do that purposely so that it gives me a horizontal positioning to play my stick on each lug position, because you think about it, you do hit a tom in different variables at an angle, so I find it's easier to tune horizontally. Rack toms are already naturally horizontal, so I leave them on their legs. Shell diameter, in this case 10 inches, really is the single most important element of your desired tuning pitch. Smaller the diameter, the higher the tuning usually goes.
unless you're going for some type of exotic tuning arrangement. I personally strive in tuning to a pitch for chord, like piano, guitar chord-like variations, 1, 3, 5. In this case, I tend to tune my two rack toms and my first floor tom to the key of C. The key of C, 1, 3, 5, is C is number 1, E is 3, and G is 5. That's the C major chord, if you care. And I just pull out a harmonica here, a tuning harp, anything like that would suffice, even something off your computer, just to get close to that upper G of the C chord, and I work down to E on my second tom and C on my floor tom. And it just works for me. Obviously, you're striving for the natural sound of your shell, so you're not going to be exactly on the C chord because you want to get the best sound you can while tuning to that perfect pitch that is intended for your drum. And that intention is all built upon your 45 or 30 degree bevel angle that your manufacturer made on your top of your drum shell. That really determines what the perfect pitch is for your drum.